I've been thinking for a while about making another video, but I feel like every time I make one, it never comes out the way I want it to. It never gets the message out that I'm trying to put out, and then I feel like I'm drawing a lot of blanks. So this time I decided to write down my thoughts and ideas first and read them in the video. In this video, I wanted to share the background of what got me into this idea of eating only sweet potatoes and yams while lifting for muscle gain. At some point in time, after my college years, I decided that I wanted to start lifting to get big. So I started going regularly to the gym with a friend to help me get started and learn to lift weights. Over time, I gained a lot of strength and muscle. Later, I decided on a possible career change and to learn more about personal training, proper technique, etc. I learned a lot through the National Personal Training Institute. It didn't help as much career-wise as I thought it would, but it gave me a lot of valuable information. When obstacle course races like the Tough Mudder and Spartan race had just started getting popular, I had changed my goals of muscle gain to endurance, functional strength, and power to perform the best I could in them as I became more of an obstacle racer. At some point, I started to question nutrition. I would always research a lot into the supplements before I would take any of them, and to see what was effective, safe, and worked the best. I was thinking to myself, there has to be a better way, a diet that provides the best performance and best recovery without having to take a whole bunch of processed supplements. I discovered a controversial YouTuber named Durian Ryder. He had ridden across Australia on a road bike in a short amount of time and also a crazy fast runner. He would talk a lot about a low-fat, high-carb vegan diet and how it's best for performance. The high-carb idea made sense to me, as carbs are the body's main source of energy. There's no denying that. It's in the scientific literature and has been known about for several years. So I started fueling up on more carbs inspired by this, and to no surprise, saw more exercise performance gains. As I followed his videos and seen him gulping down huge banana smoothies, I thought to myself, he's crazy. But if it's working well for him, there's got to be something to this. I looked into a book called 80-10-10, where some of this idea was coming from, and saw a Facebook support group, so I decided to take the plunge and test it out. The first day I had banana smoothies. I think I also had dates and 1 to 2 heads of lettuce for dinner. Literally 1 to 2 heads of lettuce. As bizarre as this may sound, I felt the most energetic and best I ever had in my entire life. This is completely true. Okay, maybe this could have been a fluke. So I tried it another day, same thing. At this point, I was like, this is it. I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I did more research finding doctors like Caldwell Esselstyn, Neil Barnard, and Dr. McDougall, watching documentaries like Forks Over Knives and Earthlings. I saw a YouTube video called Best Video You Will Ever See, which had a speech by animal rights activist Gary Yourofsky, which was also very moving. A combination of all these things had led me to a whole food plant-based diet. Not just raw foods, but cooked as well. I also have enjoyed Dr. Greger's videos of nutritionfacts.org showcasing the best nutrition information science has to offer. But of course, as all vegans hear regularly, where do you get your protein? It has become a more and more ridiculous question to me over the years. It's easy to understand why the question is asked, but the fact that proper information about it hasn't been widely spread and is sad and frustrating. One of the major problems is that meat, eggs, and whey are touted as superior sources of protein, and plant-based proteins like beans and spinach are inferior. This is far from the truth, and in my opinion should be the exact opposite way around. Beans and greens will always be far more nutritious than animal products, period. Not many people recognize this until they do a search for themselves, but all whole plant foods contain protein. Some more and some less, but they still have it. So regardless you're ignoring it or not, with a well-balanced whole food plant-based diet sufficient in calories, you can't avoid it and will always get enough. For this main reason is the basis of my message. This is what I'm trying to get the word out about. I would rather live in a world where people no longer worry about protein than a world where people are clueless about it and think it's the only thing they need to live. There's way too much processed powders, marketing, advertising, and overhype about protein. It's ridiculous. My main takeaway, regardless whether you're omnivorous, vegetarian, vegan, etc., is that you can live healthily and gain muscle and strength with nutritious whole plant foods.